Hello, welcome to a brand new video. I've been really excited with how this channel's been popping off lately. It's actually been getting a lot of attention, even though it's sort of like a bit of a secret channel, a little bit hidden. I'm having trouble with the sketching here. You'll see with this drawing, a lot of things change as it goes on. And ultimately, I think it turns out really good. I think this might be my best piece so far. Or at least my favorite, you know. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. But you'll you'll see me struggle with the pose, the proportions and stuff. This is a new character I decided to create. I believe his name is Vardakh Rhael. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this character's name I've made up correctly, but yeah, you'll see some design changes here. I went for like a long braided sort of ponytail at first, but I changed that entirely. It just wasn't going terribly well, so I just completely tweaked it later on. It's mostly the hair that changes, but basically I saw an art video where they said to do the background first. I don't exactly do the background first, but it's the first bit of coloring I do is the background. I keep it simple, and it turned out pretty good. Then I whipped everything else together, and people seem to really like how the final product turned out. So there's probably truth to the madness. But anyway, yeah, it's been fun. And yeah, wow, getting hair down is always tricky. I always struggle with hair and stuff like that. But yeah, this is going to be a bit of a long one. The longer the process is, the longer the time-lapse turns out, depending on the brushes and stuff too. The sketching phase ends up taking a long time in the time-lapse. It's usually very quick in comparison in real time, but it records every input. So yeah, that's why you're going to see the sketch for a long time. Trust me, rendering out the shading and lighting usually takes pretty much half the time, I feel like. Rough estimation. But yeah, the background took quite a while too, because I was messing around with the lighting, trying to get things looking right. I mess around with the layers in general, which takes a lot of time and just pops up in an instant. If things get too extreme, it could turn into a sort of flashing lights warning situation. If I'm cranking the brightness of the background like crazy. See, I spend a lot of time on this braid, and I just got rid of it because I don't like the look of it anyway. And I'm trying to work out the hair. It takes me a while to come up with a hairstyle that works for me. And eventually I get this sort of layered hair that's kind of hard to draw, but it turned out all right, I think. Yeah, and I'm just sussing these things out, trying to get the proportions right, running the sketch by my friends, and you know, they're saying that the legs and the posterior don't look terribly good, the tail. So I'm just working those proportions out, you know, sort of filling it out a bit, because I agree they weren't looking very good. So yeah, I found a way to get this tail sort of out of the way to make it more aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. And it's not blocking too much stuff. Someone was making fun of the Monopoly money, as you'll see when I color it in, and they all have their own colors. It's Canadian money, which people jokingly refer to as Monopoly money. I'm not sure if that was the intention or if they thought it was literally Monopoly money. But yeah, funny stuff. I just found that a bit amusing. I kept his coloring overall pretty simple. Just sort of a flat pink. And then the hair, I decided with a darker pink. I was fudging around with that for quite a bit. And I was working out some simple shading here. Just do it layer by layer. Mix the layers together and then sort of blend the bits where the light source is far away from the shadow itself. That way you get soft shadows where there should be soft shadows while leaving in the hard shadows where hard shadows would be. It requires a lot of 3D spatial reasoning that I'm not very good at and that I'm always practicing. But yeah, I think the overall result is very good. And I always find it worthwhile these days to do lighting, shading, rendering out stuff. Because even though it's a lot more work, it really brings the drawings to life. I'm finally at a skill level where I'm not making the drawing look ugly by shading it. I'm actually sort of making it pop. So yeah, it's hard for me to do flat drawings now, even if I learn best and get the most attention by doing flat color drawings. I'd cut out like half of the time. I'm applying a texture here just off of the Clip Studio Marketplace or whatever, a free scales texture, just set to, I think, burn, like a low opacity burn. Probably some sort of blending layer, but yeah, you'll see me just rendering stuff out, trying to make it glisten more. I also put like a sparkle layer with add glow to really make it pop. No, color dodge. That way it blends in with the scales. So yeah, very fun stuff. And the metal is it's really hard to get the shading on metal right, but I tend to go for a dark base color and really like go glow dodge, I think, for the blending, for the lighting, and go with like a bright yellow. And then I sort of pull that bright yellow with like the blending brushes. And you'll see that. And then I go for like a dark color burn for the shading, and it's just extreme values and a really sharp glisteny bit. It's hard to explain, but you can see the overall effect at the end. I think it turned out better than any other metal I've done before, but thank you to the 2 subscribers currently, Thew and Void. It's hard for people to find my subscribe star and support me, but it's fine. It's all, I like the attention and I'm always open for commissions. I shouldn't say always, there'll be times where I'm not, but I'm open for commissions. I know people don't have money for commissions these days, but if you do, shoot me a message. I don't think my rates are that unfair. They are a bit high, but they're not super unfair. But anyway, I hope you liked the drawing. Have a great day. Thank you very much and have fun.